What are tissues? Cells that function as a unit. Four major types of tissues and their functions. Connective binds. Epithelial lines all cavities. Muscle produces movement, and nervous is found in the nervous system. Name different types of connective tissues. Adipose is body fat. Fibrous protects and holds bone, muscle, and tissue in place. Cartilage connects and joints bone. Osseous gives strength/structure to bones. The difference between the muscle types. Large. What is extracellular matrix and where is it found? It's a network of proteins that gives structure to cells and tissues found in organs. Which bones are in the appendicular skeleton? The humerus, radius, ulna, carpals, metacarpals, phalanges. Name the bones that make up the coxal bone. Ilium, ischium, and pubis. What make up the axial skeleton? Ocelles, hyoid, vertebrae, thyroidic, rib cage. How are ribs attached? What's the difference between true and false ribs? They're attached by costal cartilage. They're connected. The true ribs are connected to the sternum. There's 7. False ribs are the last 3 ribs. The bones of the skull are the mandible, maxilla, nasal, frontal, sphenoid, parental, temporal, occipital, zygomatic process. The field of forensic anthropology, examining bones to determine what they look like after death. What data is used for determining ethnicity, nasal width, orbital openings. Which bone features would be collect data for determining gender, pelvis, and skull. What tools do we use in the skeleton lab? Calipers and protractor. In DNA, what bases bond together? A and T, C and G. What is the backbone of DNA composed of? Sugars and phosphate. What are nucleotides? Building blocks of RNA and DNA. DNA is a negative charge. Restriction enzymes are bacteria enzymes that cut bacteria They're bacteria by strain of bacteria that makes it. Okay. What is agarose? Electrophoresis gel. What does RFLP stand for? And what do they do? Restriction fragment length polymorphism, PCR. And what machine makes millions of copies of DNA? Polymerase chain reaction, PCR. What is biometrics? You know that. Restriction enzyme. HIN3 cuts DNA at A, cut, A, G, C, T, downcut, T. The head region. Cephalic is the head. Buccal is the cheek. Mental is the chin. Scapular is the shoulder. Coxal, between the hips. Unequal, you know that one. Femoral is your leg. Brachial is your arm. Antecubital is below the elbow joint on the front side. Olecranal is below elbow joint on the back side. Palmar is your palm. Calcaneal is your ankle. And tarsal is your foot. And popliteal is your knee. You know that the longest piece of gel is the slowest and the shortest when it comes to gel electrophoresis. Purines are adenine and guanine, and pyrimidines are cytosine and thymine, and uracil. Purines are bigger, 4 nitrogen atoms, and pyrimidines have 2. What is the function of PCR? It cuts DNA fragments to make them suitable for gel electrophoresis. RFLP stand for, and what does it mean? Restriction fragment length polymorphism, the difference in DNA sequence recognized by restriction enzymes. Ikori cuts at the following sequence: G, cut, A, T, T, down cut, C. What is biometrics? You know that, like fingerprinting, eye scan, hand scan, facial recognition. And here is the skeleton from top to bottom: skull, mandible, scapula. Your clavicle is like your shoulder blade. Sternum, top part right next to the clavicle, rib cage, and then down the arm is the humerus. Radius is the outermost part, and then the ulna, carpals,